I am number 3, coming for the 5th time, she whispered, the harmattan wind carrying her words across the whispering dunes of the land of Oke. For generations, the people of Oke had a unique way of choosing their king. Every 5 years, the man who married the most beautiful woman in the land was crowned. It was a time of celebration, a testament of the beauty that bloomed in the air. Kings rose and fell like the sun. Each reign marked its own unique flavor, but then came the king, King Chukwuemeka. His eyes like polished ebony and a heart like a dried up well twisted the tradition. He craved power, not beauty. After his first 5 years, instead of relinquishing the throne, he simply chose another most beautiful woman at the time as wife, and another, and another. He stole wives from their husbands and killed them, leaving families broken and hearts shattered. His reign became a dark stain on the vibrant tapestry of Oke. Then came Adanna. She was like a sunrise after a long night, her beauty radiating like the warmth of the midday sun. King Chukwuemeka, his eyes glinting with avarice, saw her and coveted her. He tore her from the arms of another, her betrothed. The gentle Emeka, a man whose love for Adanna was as deep as the Niger River. Adanna and Emeka was just a week to be married. Preparations for the wedding had already ignited. Rumors went round that Emeka would be king if he had Adanna as wife, for her beauty at the time had no match. King Chukwuemeka heard the spreading rumors and it was almost time for the selection of a king. He sent his guard to go bring Adanna to him. The guard stumbled, Emeka's heart snatched Adanna and left him in cold blood. Adanna's spirit crushed, her heart weeping, was now betrothed to King Chukwuemeka as a third wife. As the village of Oke burst with little gossip at the marketplaces and little bars of the king's evil, the coronation of King Chukwuemeka had been the most anticipated. The village's chief priest had a line ready to kick off with the annual ritual marriage ceremony that came with coronation. But just as it began, Adanna was nowhere to be found. She had her boots over her heels as though chased. The king ordered his guards after her. After 3 days of searching and chasing, she was caught by the king's guards and carefully carried back to Oke because she was a soon-to-be queen. The ceremony kicked off immediately. She was brought back and the king was quickly crowned. But her soul refused to be imprisoned. A week after the forced marriage, under the pale light of the moon, she took her own life. A silent scream against King Chukwuemeka's cruelty. But death is not always an ending for a story like this. In the neighboring village of Umuafia, a child was born. They named her Nkemdilim, my own. She grew like a young Iroko tree, tall and strong, her beauty a whisper of the legendary Adanna. Unknown to all, Nkemdilim was Adanna reborn. Her spirit returned, fueled by the embers of vengeance. 5 years passed and the whispers of the upcoming selection echoed through the land. King Chukwuemeka, his grip on the throne still tight, sent his emissaries far and wide, searching for a woman whose beauty could secure his reign. They found Nkemdilim in Umuafia, her radiance outshining all others. In the land of Umuafia, a father could take bride price from as many men as possible. It was left for the most powerful man to win a woman if she had more than a suitor. King Chukwuemeka, blind to the fire in her eyes, had paid thousands of cowries on her head, but another powerful king from another kingdom had eyes on Nkemdilim. He too had paid a ton of currency for her. Just as the time for the annual selection kept drawing closer, King Chukwuemeka sent down his kinsmen to go bring his bride, but on getting there, the other king, Babatunde from the neighboring Yoruba village, was there to claim his bride too. The clash of power was intense and news reached King Chukwuemeka of what was happening, and he quickly wrote down with his guard to Umuafia. The king was running out of time and needed to bring back home the most beautiful wife to remain king. But King Babatunde was not an easy man to let go. So Ebuka, father of Nkemdilin, the beautiful one, had to draw the men to a bet. Whoever challenges the other will take my daughter as wife. King Chukwuemeka thundered, I have 30 stores filled with tubers of yam. If you let your daughter marry me, your family will never go home. He challenged. King Babatunde, I have 150 cattle and sheep. If you let your daughter marry me, I shall share all this wealth with you. He promised. The class had run wild with each king throwing wealthy promises like blows towards each other. But then, it only appeared as a tie for Ebuka, father of Kemdilim. So there must be something more challenging to win his heart. What if you kings wrestle for my daughter? He said, prepare your finest of warriors and come back after 2 days. Whoever wins the fight takes my daughter. Both kings retreated to their kingdom for preparation. King Chukwuemeka was determined to sit till death on his throne. The hunger to remain in power made him promise wealth to any warrior who would fight and bring Kemdilin as his queen. Ikenna, a descendant of warriors of the land of Oke, decided to put his strength to test. It was said that his father's fathers hunted animals with their bare hands. It was time for the fight as both kings returned with their strongest of warriors ready to wrestle. Ikenna and Akinwale of Babatunde started the fight. The news had gone round Umuafia as the villagers around gathered to watch the king's warriors exchange blows and muzzles jam against their skin. Halfway into the fight, Ikenna was instrumental for his swiftness. It was in a split second that he touched the back of Akinwale to the soil and won the match for King Chukwuemeka. Babatunde was disappointed and swallowed defeat like a fufu struggling its way down the throat. News had spread of the victory of King Chukwuemeka all over Oke. It was received with mixed feelings, with villagers chanting amongst themselves angrily against his victory, while others just celebrated merely because of the disgrace that waved away like a running wind. The king was received at the very borders of the village as everyone gathered to welcome him, yet to be enthroned again for another 5 years. At least, he didn't kill a woman's husband to take a wife for himself this time around. The market women whispered amongst themselves. The day of the ceremony arrived. The air crackled with anticipation. King Chukwuemeka again was crowned for the 5th time, making him 25 years in power. Adorned in his royal robes, stood beside Nkemdilin, a smug smile plastered on his face. It was 10 years since the death of Adanna, his third wife. Kemdilim's intentions became wild like a lioness who just pocket a prey. After 2 months into marriage, she started revealing herself. First, she would transform from herself to Adanna whenever King Chukwuemeka tried laying with her. This scared the king, who would always run out of her hut like a madman who saw something he couldn't explain. Whenever she smiled at King Chukwuemeka, he would see the grim faces of Adanna and the many other men he killed and snatched their wives. He became restless every day. The quest for power had now become a consequence. Even he would not reach to his deepest enemy. I am number 3, she declared, her voice echoing with an unworldly power. Coming for the 5th time, were her last words as the king carried in his mind as he finally ran mad when Kemdilin had plotted to reveal herself to him as she brought him food from her hut. The king screamed and ran off to the village square like he lost the sense. Indeed, he did. His mind could not comprehend her. He married a spirit who came back for him. The king kept roaming around mad and the villagers caught him and tied him up like a commoner. The king's men had to gather again to pick a new king, but this time, a king was only allowed to rule for a term of 5 years, after which they will be entitled to one woman only, so a new king could emerge. This was to end the tyranny that King Chukwuemeka had begun in the kingdom of Oke. Please subscribe to watch more of our videos. Thank you.